Hey guys, and welcome to Tnashi's Movie Corner. Today we'll be doing another animated matchup. We'll be doing The Prince of Egypt, which came out in 1998, versus a Goofy movie, which came out in 1995. Two very different movies here, so this should be interesting. And as always, we judge them based upon plot, main character, side character, songs, humor, villain/antagonist, cast, themes, action, and memorability. So let's get right to it. Plot was actually one. Well, some of these were pretty easy. Plot was perhaps the easiest one, which went to Prince of Egypt. Goofy movie's pretty straightforward plot with a father and son going on a road trip, and a son wanting to have impressed a girl he likes and everything. So he gives a lie, and then he tries to weave his way to go to the concert that he said he was going to be at. And it's a father-son kind of bonding movie. Prince of Egypt, I mean, if y'all don't know, it's the story of Moses, and as a prince, he kind of gets told that he is, he kind of gets told that he's supposed to deliver his people, and so he kind of has to go in conflict with what he considered his brother, and who was his brother for years at the time, and all this, and kind of go through some back and forth with him in order to save his people from slavery. So there's just a lot, and that's just a very brief thing. There's a lot more to it. So plot easily goes to The Prince of Egypt. When it came to main character, we actually gave this one to a Goofy movie. Some of y'all might think that's a little off, but Goofy movie, the main character's name is Max, and the thing about Max is you can really associate with him because he's going to high school. He's not really the nerd of the group, but he does get picked on a little bit. He is kind of the outcast. He's trying to impress this girl, and his dad, who's wanting to kind of associate with his son a little bit more and get closer with his son, decides to take him on a road trip, which embarrasses the hell out of him. And they kind of have to, deal with shenanigans along the way. Moses, as presented in this movie, he has a lot that he has to deal with. But as far as character, there's not actually much to his character. There starts off being a little bit with how he acts a lot, really lighthearted and kind of down to earth in a way. You see more aspects of him, but he loses that early on in the movie, and he kind of just becomes more of a figure than he becomes a character, and because of that, there's just he becomes kind of wooden, basically. And so I think because people can identify with Max, and because of how he acts in the movie, throughout the movie and everything, he just kind of works better as a main character. And side characters we also gave to a Goofy movie, because you have Roxanne as kind of the love interest, but you also have, Goofy, and you have Pete, and you have PJ, and you have Stacy. But thing is, Goofy movie characters, they just have more personality, more actual character to them. Prince of Egypt doesn't, aside from the villain, there's just not much there, and nothing stands out among them at all. I couldn't even describe them to you, and that really says something about them. Songs, we also gave that to a Goofy movie. Prince of Egypt kind of has over-the-top songs, theatrical, kind of like big presentation songs, but they all kind of run together. Whereas Goofy movie actually has some songs that fit more with what the movie is, as far as how they sound. But then they have some songs that actually stand out quite well, and you could listen to on a day-to-day basis and enjoy, like Eye to Eye. So it's really interesting there that they would even have that. But songs goes to a Goofy movie. Humor obviously goes to a Goofy movie. I don't think I need to explain why on that one. Villain, we gave villain to Prince of Egypt. I think Ramesses as the villain kind of just works so much better. And it was going to be given to Prince of Egypt more than Goofy Movie, because Goofy Movie doesn't really have a villain or antagonist. But I think Ramesses as a villain actually works really well, so he might have won that category regardless, because you really see the change in him, but you understand where he's coming from. You get a lot of his backstory, along with you get some of Moses, and you understand where he's coming from, why he's making the decisions he does, and why he kind of feels betrayed by what Moses is doing and all that. Cast we gave to a Goofy Movie. Again, this is one of those, Prince of Egypt is one of those movies that actually has a lot of famous people in these roles, but they don't stand out. None of them stand out. I couldn't identify them. Whereas you have Goofy, obviously, and you have Pete, which are kind of, the obvious ones, but they do actually fit the character quite well. And I think Max works really well as well. Roxanne's a little less, but at least they stand out as character voices. So romance we gave to a Goofy Movie. They both showcase romance, but Prince of Egypt, you kind of just happens, and you're just supposed to buy it. Like, there's not as much going into it. Whereas a Goofy Movie literally sets up across the entire movie. And it works. Like, you believe why it goes the way it goes. So themes went to Prince of Egypt, and action went to Prince of Egypt, and memorability went to Prince of Egypt. And those are all kind of obvious. Obviously, action. Goofy Movie doesn't really showcase much action. Memorability, if you know anything about the story of Moses and kind of the trials he goes through and what happens and everything with the parting of the sea and all that, very memorable scenes there that stand out. And obviously, themes kind of fit too with Moses and everything that he has to do and all that. So all those just kind of work better. And it was pretty clear on quite a few of these which ones to give it to, because they really kind of fit with one or the other. There wasn't too much to really debate about, honestly, for these. But so anyway, the interesting thing here, if you were keeping track, is by 5-6 vote, Goofy Movie wins. A lot of people would find that surprising, but a Goofy Movie is really an underrated film. So I don't think it gets as much credit as it probably deserves. And Prince of Egypt is a very good film, and it's a very good story. If you know the story, it works out very well. It's much grander of a story. But when we're going by these categories, sometimes it pans out that way, that the film that we were expecting to win isn't the film that wins. So anyway, guys, that'll about wrap this one up. So down in the comments, let me know, do you agree or do you disagree? Which film do you think should have won this, or which film do you prefer, rather? And hopefully you guys enjoy this vid and click that like button, subscribe to my channel, and watch my other vids, and give me your comments here on some of these matchups. I'd love to hear from you guys. But as always, thanks for watching, and peace.